Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in wa ba'd. So this is episode number 3 from my notes on the book of self-development, inshallah. So this is the third one. The third one is dealing with legacies. And obviously legacies is what you leave behind after you're gone. You know, and obviously us, which as Muslims, we're trying to leave a legacy of knowledge of things that the Muslims after us, the people, our families and other Muslims, they benefit from after we're gone, because this way we continue to get the ajr and while we're in our graves. And this is the ultimate benefit. Nobody cares about, I could care less about people just remembering who I am after I'm gone if I'm not going to benefit from that in the next life. So we have to kind of be a little bit, where we're thinking about the benefit for us in the next life. You leave knowledge behind, you leave things that the people are going to benefit, so you also benefit in the next life. They benefit in this life for their next life, and you benefit also in this life and the next life. And that's the whole goal. Because these knowledge is one of the things that is going to be beneficial for us, and the knowledge that we leave behind is something that we continue to benefit from, and that's a real legacy, a legacy of knowledge. This legacy that these kuffar talk about, as far as just like, oh, I just want to be known, I want my name to be remembered. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? Like, let's say that you leave knowledge behind, and the people benefit from the knowledge, but they don't even remember you as a person. But they they got the knowledge that you left behind, and they don't know you, they don't remember you as a person. Your name is never mentioned, but the knowledge that you taught the people stays, and the people continue to benefit. You benefit. You benefit regardless of the people remembering you, forget you. It doesn't really matter. What they say about you and all this stuff after you're gone, it means nothing. But the whole thing, the real legacy is that legacy of leaving benefit behind. So here I wrote, legacies are built on people's actions, not their words. If we were judged by the things we said we were going to do, we would all be the most successful people in the world. However, the reality is that we are judged by our actions. We are judged by our results. We are judged by our ability to get things done, especially when it matters the most. A lot of people can function in ease, but they crumble under pressure. We have to be able to get the results needed in peace and in tribulation. In fact, we need to have the ability to step our game up even more in times of tribulation, because that is the time most of the people abandon their posts. Leaders are made under fire, not during an all-you-can-eat buffet. So here there's a lot to unravel and unpack in this statement, right? So number one, legacies are built on actions, people's actions, not their words. You can sit here and talk, and we've entered the age of, just talk. We left the age of talk is cheap. Your actions speak louder than your words type of understanding, to just now people, all they do is talk. Where the person can get up and talk a good game, and that's it. That's all that really matters. But in reality, we judge people. When we judge people, we don't judge them based on what they say. We listen to what they say, and we take what they say, but then we look at their actions, and then we judge the person based on how they act. So if he's talking about we need to follow the sunnah, and we need to be people of the sunnah, but then you see him hanging around with a whole bunch of wishy-washy people, Sufis, you see him, and then you look at his actions. I don't care what he says now. His actions are contradicting what? His words. So now, khalas, it doesn't really matter what he says anymore. Because his words are meaningless now, because his actions are going against it. So if we were judged by the things we said we were going to do, we would all be the most successful people in the world. And that's the truth. Because we all talk a good game. But when it's time to back it up, we don't have the means to do that. And the one thing that you see this the most in is when it comes down to marriage. Because people will sit there and make all these promises and talk a good game just to get the wife, and the woman will do the same thing just so she can get the husband, and then everybody's trying to get each other. But then when it comes time when the marriage actually takes place, and it comes time to back up all that talk that you were doing, when you were trying to get the person, now we're going to see whether or not you're able to back it up or not. Majority of the people, they can't back it up, divorce happens. So again, if we were judged just based on our talk, and if success was something that we got because of our talk, then khalas, we'd all be successful, right? But success comes based on what? The results that we get. And the results that we get come from what? It's stem from our actions. From our actions. We don't get results without action. If you sit around and do nothing, you get no results, because you get nothing. There's nothing, you haven't done anything. And you can sit here and run your mouth all day long, but you're not getting any results. You get results when you start to act, when you start to put things into practice. That's when you start to get results. So I said, like, we're judged by what? Our actions, we're judged by our results. We're judged by our ability to get things done, especially when it matters the most. Because anybody, and this is the whole thing that people need to understand. Anybody can do anything in the times of ease. When times are good, money's around and food is plentiful and everybody's happy with you and people are praising you, it's easy to get things done. But now when the money's not there, the food is very scarce, you're hungry all the time and people are insulting you and everybody's against you, can you get the same results? Can you do the same thing? Can you continue to produce and produce and produce in these times like you produce in those times of ease? That's going to separate people. That's going to show that this is a person that he can only lead the people when times are good. And then this person who can lead the people and be, and continue to get those results when times are bad, when times are against everybody, he's going to end up way up here and this person's going to stay way down here. Because this is just the reality. People become very cowardly when it's time, when difficulties come. And they look for who's going to stand up and who's going to put themselves on the fire, in front of the firing squad, basically. Who's going to stand up and do this? And the people will get behind the person if somebody stands up. So who's that person? And who is the person that's going to get those results in the times of difficulties and keep the people calm and keep the people active and keeping the people, motivated and doing the things that they need to be doing in the times of difficulties? That's the person that the people are going to follow. That's the person that's going to be successful in his da'wah, successful in everything that he does. So that's the whole thing. A lot of people can function in ease, but they crumble under pressure. So they can sit here and memorize the Quran when things are easy. They got the air conditioner, they got the food, they got, everything that they need. Their little frappuccino, cappuccino, whatever garbage they want to drink during the day. But now what about when you don't have those things? What about when the electricity's gone and the air conditioner's off and it's 100-something degrees outside and you ain't got your frappuccino, you got to drink water, that's it, that's all you have. And the food's scarce. Are you still going to be memorizing? Are you still going to be studying? Are you still going to be doing all these things? Or you were just like, oh, I'm only going to do them when the times are easy. So that's going to separate, that's really what separates the boys from the men and the girls from the women. At that time when you're able to get those results when it counts. And those are the times that's going to make you successful. Because everybody's going to want to partake in everything in times of ease. But watch what happens in times of difficulties and watch how everybody just starts to fall off. So we have to be able to get the results needed in peace and in tribulation. So whatever the case is, you just keep it moving. If we're in times of peace, we keep it moving. If we're in times of tribulation and trials and tests and afflictions, we just keep it moving. We just keep it going. Maybe we can't keep it going as fast as we were going, like we can't keep the same pace as times of ease, but we still keep it moving. We keep it moving. We keep progressing, inshallah. All right, and in fact, we need to have the ability to step our game up even more in times of tribulation. And those are the best of the best, the elite of the elite. The people that when it comes time, like they're always on their game in the times of peace, but then when the times of tribulation, the times of trial, the times of warfare, the times of poverty come, they step up even more. And that's like the 1% of the 1%. So like that I mean, that's something that we could all strive for, but let's just, all of us got to be realistic with ourselves and understand what we are able to bear. Those are the best of the people. When it comes to those times, when it comes to the difficulties, they step it up more. They step it up another notch, and they push the people even further, push the people even more, and progress even more in times of tribulation than they do in times of ease. Oh, that's a special breed of people. I've seen that amongst the ulama, especially with Sheikh Yahya. I saw that, but I haven't seen that. I've not seen that with a lot of people. That's a very rare quality, and I've definitely never seen it in myself. Allahumma musta'an. In fact, we need to have the ability to step our game up even more in times of tribulation, because that is the time most of the people abandon their posts. Because people are cowards. People are, like I said, they want to do everything when it's easy. But when times get difficult, like right now in the times of ease, when it's cool to be Salafi, when it's cool to run around and quote, the Salaf and quote a hadith, and when it's cool, everybody, you see, so many people want to do it. What happens now when you're getting killed for that or getting put in prison for that? How many people are going to keep doing it? And that's just the reality. Look at the trial that Imam Ahmed went through. let that be a test. Like let that be not a test, but like a blueprint of what happens with people when these tests come. And again, Imam Ahmed was that 1% of the 1%, the elite of the elite, the one that stepped his game up in the times of tribulations. And even before him, the best of all examples is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He stepped it up. He did, and there was no backing down and no slowing up and no stopping the dawah, no nothing. No matter what the issue was, no matter what was going on, warfare, poverty, sickness, whatever, they kept it going. They kept it going. And their worship, you see, like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam during battles and how much du'a he was making. Come on, he steps it up. He takes it to another level. So these are the people that we need to follow. These are our examples. The example starting with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, going to his companions and going to the Salaf as-Salih and looking at their lives and seeing, because they were those type of people, the elite of the elite, that 1% of the 1%, the people that just stepped it up and they started to produce even more, in times of hardship than they did in the times of ease. And in fact, they got to the point where with a lot of the stories of the Salaf, they started to hate the times of ease. They hated the times of ease because those were the times of real fitna for them. Imam Ahmed talked about that when he was getting punished, that was the best time for him. But once he got like when they got a new Khalifa and they started giving him money and trying to make up for all the stuff that happened, and making the times of ease became a fitna for him. They became a fitna for him. And go back and read through his life. Imam Ibn Jawzi, rahimahullah, wrote a very beautiful book. It's called Manaqib al-Imam Ahmed. Manaqibu al-Imam Ahmed. It's a beautiful book on the life of Imam Ahmed and everything. It goes through his whole life, the trials, tribulations, everything that he went through. But then you look at his life, the biggest fitna for him was that time of ease, not the time of difficulty. So that's the type of mentality we need to develop, and we can't develop that with soft living. We can't develop that through ease. He developed that type of mentality through worship of Allah, through putting his trust in Allah, leaving off the life of this world, and worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He developed that mentality by the permission of Allah, through obedience to Allah. And that's the only way that we'll be able to develop the same thing. You can sit there and sleep on the floor, you can sleep on a bed of nails, but that doesn't mean that you're going to develop that mentality, because this is about worship of Allah. This is about now continuing that worship of Allah and continuing the dawah and continuing everything when you're being persecuted, when everything's against you, when all the people are insulting you, when it's not cool to do what you're doing. Where now you become insulted for doing what you're doing. And to continue because you know that this is the truth, and you push past all of that garbage. Those are the people that history writes about. Those are the people that we read about in history books, and those are the people whose lives motivate us till this day. And this is the type of person you want to be. You want to strive to be like that, to live your life in the worship of Allah, but stepping it up even more in those times of hardships. Wallahu musta'an. Wa ilahuna subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.